Welcome back, everybody. We are back with some more C4 content. So if you've been following the channel, the last video we did with the C4 was the coilover parts and price list. I took a little bit of break to do some work on the '69 Corvette, but I'm back now with this car, celebrating the 1-year anniversary since I purchased this car. I figured it's a good time to do a series on some bolt-on upgrades, performance upgrades for this car. So I pretty much had done wheels and tires that I like, suspension's done on this car, the brakes are done on this car. Most of the interior is done on this car. There's a couple little odds and ends that I'm gonna kind of just bounce back here and there, fixing whenever I can. So I was thinking to myself the other day, I'm thinking, what are some of the common bolt-on performance upgrades that people do to the L98 Tuned Port engine? A lot of the stuff is just kind of simple, basic bolt-on stuff, and I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with this car as far as drivetrain and stuff like that. So it's got low miles on it, so around 68,000 miles on it. So I was just kind of thinking, hey, why don't we just do every little bolt-on that we can and see if it's worth it or if it's not worth it. So today's video, we're going to do the basic simple thing that probably everybody does to their car when they first get it, is some sort of air intake. So in this case, we're going to do K&N filter. We're going to look at the air cleaner mod that's done, it's popular, that they cut out the center of it. And also we're going to look at the piece that they make as an aftermarket replacement for that. It's like a high flow lid. And also we have the throttle body air foil that bolts into the center of the throttle body. So we're going to go ahead and take everything out of this, take a look at it on the bench, look at the new parts, and figure, is it worth it? Look at the price of the K&N, if that's worth it. Is it worth cutting the hole in the lid, or is it worth buying the aftermarket performance lid that's already made? So let's go ahead and get this stuff out, take a look at it, and go from there. All right, so we're just gonna start taking this off, mass airflow, lid here, take this whole assembly out, and then put it on the bench, take a look at it. All right, so here we go. So factory air box. This is the factory lid here. Filters underneath here. You take these two screw knobs off and you can replace the filter, which is really popular that I see a lot of. People are actually just coming in here with a cutoff wheel and just cutting this whole section out here, which is probably the easiest and fastest way to get all that airflow in there. It depends how you feel about it. I'm not 100% on board with cutting up parts, but at the same time, you know, I'm not really against it either. So I think, you know, cutting it up probably is, you know, the fastest and easiest thing you can for some free horsepower. You could just replace, put a K&N filter, or there's other companies that make performance air filters. This filter alone is $64.99 with free shipping. I'll leave the links to all this stuff in the description too, if you want to take a look at any of this stuff. So there's this option to put in there, there is cut the lid option, and then there is this option here. So this is from, I bought this from Corvette Mods. They sell it on Mid-America, all of those places like that. This is just like ABS plastic. It's just direct replacement here. So you have all of this open in here, except for this piece. You probably could cut this down a little bit narrower. I don't know if it's gonna make a big difference or not. And this piece is, I believe this is like $54.99. So do you wanna spend $55 for this thing, or do you wanna cut up this? So that's completely up to you. I just decided to take a look at both. I just figured I'm gonna order this, put this in, and hold on to that, just so I have it as backup. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out, put the K&N filter in, and put this back in the car. The other piece I was talking about too is the throttle body Airfoil. So it comes as a kit, and this will be in the description too. It comes with this piece here that bolts right in the center of your throttle body. You have to take off the little plate on top, and you slide this piece behind, and then it comes with a mounting bolt and an Allen wrench, all as one kit. So it's relatively easy, and I figured since I have all of this out of the car already, I'm just gonna throw this in too. So it really can't hurt. And I believe this is like $32.99. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the air filter in here, and we're gonna put this in and bolt it back up. Disgusting. So the only thing you have to transfer are these screws here. They are kind of like a one-time you push in, and then it has like a retainer. We just kind of wiggle them and pop them right out. Not a big deal. But that's what the inside of the metal lid looks like. So I can see why cutting it is like super easy and super quick if you don't want to spend $55. All right, got them in. They probably could have drilled those holes a little bigger. They're pretty tight in there, but it'll work. So filter. All right, there it is installed. It fits pretty good. You can definitely tell they just manufacture a ton of these things. The fitment's off just a little bit here and there, but I guess it's not bad. I mean, if you're trying to not hack up your parts, then this is probably definitely worth it. But if you don't care, I would say just cut this, and then you'll have the whole center section open. But like I said, you're gonna save $55, just cut this bad boy, or even keep your factory paper filter. And then just cut it and you'll be good there. You'll save yourself over $100. So we're gonna get this back in the car, and then we're gonna do the airfoil. All right, now I'm gonna take off these 6 Torx 20 bolts right here and remove this top plate and set it aside. That pulls right off. And now take this airfoil with that area right there, and you put the bolt through it, and it just goes right to the center here. And you'll see down from the top, right in the center up top here, this is where you put this little nut wedge piece. Just drop that down there. It won't fall in any further. It's literally just an open spot. So I'll give you a better shot here once I get this in and tighten down. And you can see right in there, that's the piece that goes in there. And that's pretty much it. So we'll go ahead and put this top panel back on. And now we'll go back together. Mass airflow sensor, straight down. That back on, plug in the mass airflow sensor. Okay, so it's all done. It looks pretty much factory still. You can barely see that down in there. but definitely has a factory appearance, and obviously you can't see the airfoil under the throttle body there. So it turned out pretty nice. All right, so that'll do it for today's video. So the question is it worth it? $150, all those parts to bolt right up with no real big labor or anything like that. Yes, in my opinion, it's definitely worth it. So I think the only question comes down to, do you cut the factory lid, or do you spend the money and buy the aftermarket ABS plastic lid? So whatever you decide on, I think it's definitely an important mod to do if you haven't done it already. So this is like part one of a several part series on bolt-on performance parts for the C4. So if you enjoy the video, press like, subscribe, and thanks again for watching.